Tavin, Tavin, go to the live one. Yes.
Can you hear us, Giggles?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
It doesn't say that it's live anymore.
We're on a different
No,
live.
we're on a different one.
Oh,
We're on a different live. Everybody else is on the other one.
Yeah.
We lost him. We even lost the spazzy nerd. He won't even come on to harass us now. Can you hear him? No. Can you hear me?
Yep. We heard.
It's a good thing we have a son who can hear us. Okay. So I don't know if anybody's got the title Continue Living. It was supposed to be Continue Live, but I just don't have the patience for texting and writing on the thing. So if the spazzy nerd comes back, thank you. You and I really do appreciate that. And hopefully Karen will catch up with us, and if not, she'll rewatch this. So it might be better for you anyways, Jared, because it's just now recording. There's nobody watching. See?
Good.
Okay. So with that, I think I'm going to ask you then, because I really liked what you said to Tavin. I don't think people heard it. Tavin, did you hear Daddy talk about what he said to you when I was arrested? Spelling. Okay. That's me, right? It looks like I'm writing.
It does.
I'm writing myself.
So yeah, he heard.
Okay. All right. So. Okay. There she is, and we're back too. All right, great. So you and Tavin watching. Okay, so let's get this over with before the spazzy nerd comes back and starts harassing us. So, okay, so you heard the part about Jared telling Tavin about how it was going to be okay. Karen, Did you hear that part? Because I don't know if it was muted at that point. I don't know what happened to the sound. Did you hear that, Karen? Did you hear that part?
I couldn't hear it at that point.
Okay. I went after.
Can you hear us now? Yeah. Okay. Okay, good. All right. So now we're moving on to thank you, Karen. So what happened at that point is Anne was here, and I think the conversation between you and Anne went like...
Yeah, there was really no conversation per se. I told her the whole situation, crying, and Anne.
I know.
Anne had asked if I wanted her to take Tavin. I had no idea. She gave Tavin the choice of what to do, and he was the one who chose to stay with Anne. So that's what happened with that.
Okay. So my whole question to you, because I want to get to the heart of things, as I said before, like, we were having so many problems.
Being at work actually turned out to be the point where things were actually changing for me.
I didn't know that.
Because I had absolutely nothing left. I had nowhere to go. I had no one to help. Yeah, you were in jail, But listen to me. Um, I think I would have rather been in a physical prison myself than the type of prison I was in.
Right. We just had a lesson on that in church tonight.
Because I had nowhere to go. It doesn't matter if I had went to work or not, because I would been in the same situation that I was in either location. I was stuck in my lane doing my job over and over again with the same images in my head.
Which were?
You in jail with all that noise.
What did you kind of imagine, like, because, everybody has this preconceived notion of what jail is like. And so
I imagined it exactly the way that it was.
the way that I told you,
Yeah.
oh, the loudness you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I knew that it would affect your.
Yes, it was. It helped him a lot.
I knew that it would have triggered your neuropathy, your anxiety attacks.
I'm watching and I might text. Hi, thank you.
Karen, Tavin wants you to know that he's actually the other person watching. So he says thank you. I love that our son's in the next room watching this live.
Right.
The other person that was on here, that spazzy nerd, said that we should be arrested for having such a terrible mom, bragging about being in jail. I am bragging about being in jail for one reason. Hi, Brian. Thank you for joining. Well, I'm doing good. Do you really, Karen?
I'm cool with it.
We would love that. We would love that. We would be honored. When I'm not going to lie to you, Karen. Yes. I want to tell you something because this is something I haven't brought up to anybody. Oh, that's
cute.
Tavin, by the way, under my name, Karen. Oh, it's love on the internet. No, hold on. When I was in jail, the only thing that was getting me through, like the counselor kept telling me, oh, I love you too. Oh my God. Don't make me cry. Well, I do want to tell you something, Karen, because when I was in jail, the counselor actually told me to think of positive things, like what positive things could come out of this. And, I think I told you at one point, like, I wish you hadn't moved. Remember that? Because I kept thinking, I'm going to move to Kentucky. I'm going to live by Karen, or I'm going to go to Tennessee and try to rent Penny's place because I still don't think she's living there. And I just kept thinking, where am I going to go? And the only places I could think of was Karen, Deborah, or Penny. Like, I knew Karen. I knew Karen or Anne, she's a great friend, but I couldn't live at Anne's house with the kids. I love them, but it would be too much with 3 kids and they're all like crazy. And then she's got a bird and, she's got a roommate there too. So like, I couldn't even go there because I would have no place to stay there. So Anne was not an option for me because her house just wasn't accessible for me and my disease and everything. So, I just kept thinking, I'm going to Karen's, maybe Deborah's. I kept thinking, I don't know, maybe Tennessee. Those were my thoughts. But as I was saying about being in jail, oh, Karen, did you see that? Well, they're going to have a conversation now between themselves. We're not even here.
Yeah, no, it's pointless now.
Yeah. Okay, so the thing about me being in jail was that, and why we froze.
I see you back.
Yep. Okay, so all right, because this is just going cray.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm just gonna go to. I just want to ask Jared why his feelings changed. Like, how did, because seriously, we went 2 months where Jared was acting kind of goofy. Look at those eyebrows, dude. Do you know that women would kill to have those eyebrows?
I practiced it.
Yeah, you did. All right, so
Um,
I want to get to the point where you change, because this man right here is the man that I fell in love with. The man that I had been living with 2 months before that was somebody. I know, right? I just like whoop whoop.
I worked on it. Karen.
Do it. Do the ugly face. Ah, I hate that face. It creeps me out. Okay, so get to the point. Like, I want to know, what were you thinking that made you think, I'm so far gone from Tristine? What have I done? Like, were those things that you were thinking?
No. No, to be honest with you, it wasn't. I'm far gone from Tristine at all. Because I was busy setting up my party. Yeah, that was the. No, it wasn't about me being far gone with you. It was
Being far gone from you? Which then led you far away from me?
yeah, something like that. Weird, but I was forced to think about the situation. The only thing that I had left at this point, I'm at work. The only thing that I had left was my thoughts, which, it's frightening up there.
Yes, it is. For anyone.
For anybody.
No, I mean, in anybody. Being in your
Yeah.
own head is like the worst thing
But
possible.
I had to go through all the stuff.
Not now. Yes, you can, but yes, but not tonight.
All over in my head, over and over again, the story of the day, and knowing that I couldn't be there for Tristine, I couldn't see her. I had to sit and wait until she got out. Like, there was nothing for me but me and my conversation with God. And that's really what it was
Yes.
that really
I think to both of us, Karen.
really helped. Thanks, bud. Because I don't. It wasn't any one defining moment either.
So-
Like, it was a collection of, it was a collection of things together. And in my head, I knew there were things going wrong. I knew I couldn't be there. I couldn't be. I couldn't be there to relax Tristine through the anxiety attacks. Our family was in 3 separate places.
Oh, gosh,
it was
right?
just so ridiculous
Never
and
even
chaotic.
thought of it that
and,
way.
And I couldn't. I had absolutely nothing and nowhere to go. No one to turn to except for God. I couldn't do anything. So I was stuck in my head, focused on my faith.
Would you say, like, because I know for me and Karen, exactly, it is. And tears is spelled Tears, Tavin. Spelling. Okay, so do you think it was like one of those, and oops is OOPS. not ops. Don't make me correct your spelling on chat.
All right.
Okay. So, do you think it was like one of those moments where you were having with the Lord where like you were just like brought back? Do you feel like the Lord brought you back? Do you feel like it was a defining moment that you had, or like cuz then you watched the never-ending story like nothing ever happened
No,
with popcorn and soda?
no, not at all. There wasn't any one defining moment. And that's my point. That I was trying to make earlier.
That's what I'm saying.
That it's the collection of events that happened to me that Pizza 2. Yeah, see, Karen was actually paying attention.
Oh, right. Karen pays attention.
It was the collection of events that happened that did something to me. It wasn't just any one thing.
We were leading up to
Because then after
you partied.
you partied.
Partied. Partied. Okay.
After work, when I finally got out, I got in the car and drove off, and I had a flat tire. Now, to say that, yeah, it's an event, but it was another pivotal experience for me in this mess.
Yeah.
Because now you throw a flat tire into the mix. I had to focus on the one thing that I didn't want to focus on whatsoever.
It's my son. Oh, hi. Oh my God, I'm so glad you're here. I love this person. So faithful, very, very loyal subscriber. Thank you for joining. That's my son. He's in next door. Okay, that's enough, Davin.
I had to focus on something external now at this point, which I didn't want to do. I wanted to focus on Tristine and what she was going through and how I could not be there. So now I had to focus on my tire, and the situation is just comical because I didn't have my spare tire in the car.
Or me.
I didn't have the spare tire in my car. It was at home, not with me at work. I had a jack, but no lug wrench to control the jack or get the tire off my car in the first place. And Tristine was in jail, so I couldn't call her up and say, "Hey, I've got a flat tire, but the spare is in the garage. What do you want me to do?"
See, and I think maybe that was the point where it was like a real rude awakening. Like, oh, I can't call Tristine.
No, and from that aspect of it, yeah, like I could not rely on her. I could not rely on Tristine whatsoever then. Clearly.
You're
because
starting to
she was in
become a
jail.
troll, Tristine Fleming.
So
This is a serious conversation, Tristine.
so I handled it myself. When the tire finally came and I was changing it, there was a moment. There was a moment actually. Now that we're talking about it, I work in a 37-degree warehouse. So I've got long black pants and like 5 shirts on with a winter cap on outside
In the summer
in
heat.
90-degree
It was
weather
so hot
at
that night,
And
yeah.
that night it was like 90 degrees. Trying to change a tire, sweating profusely, and absolutely loved it. Because it was a physical, I knew right then that it was a physical representation of what God was doing to me.
He was fixing your lug nuts.
Yeah, he was fixing my lug nuts. Yeah. God
He was
showed up.
changing your tire.
Yeah. God showed up
Oh.
and he was changing my flat tire.
Changes you.
And not
You had a flat. You had a flat.
I had a
and
flat.
God was changing that flat.
And he no, well what he did was brought my spare so that I can change my own flat myself. And which is the relationship
I
that
like that story.
I loved it. No, it was
I'm kidding.
it was absolutely fantastic. I knew I knew without a doubt that the flat tire was God. And that by me changing that tire,
he was like, you know what? You put your wife in jail. I'm gonna give you a flat tire.
Yeah.
There you go. Bam.
and
No, I'm kidding.
and what made me laugh, about it.
Hold on a second. Kumar, what is that your real name? Is your name Kumar? Am I saying it right? There's a delay. There is a delay. So thank you for watching, by the way. But okay, so
Incidentally, after I changed the tire and I was driving home, I started laughing because I got really excited to tell Christine about my story changing my tire, because it was a clear moment for me that there was something moving in me and in our family.
but did you realize that I wasn't going to be home? Like, were you driving home with that thought?
Yeah, I knew full well that.
Thank you, Kumar.
Yeah, at that point, I knew that you were spending the night in jail.
So you were
and I hated it.
laughing.
Yeah, because
I didn't laugh. Oh, I did laugh once.
because
in
I was-
Scrabble in jail, you can write gonads and whore, and
I was laughing.
so I did laugh in jail.
I was laughing
I laughed too.
at
Good for you.
the.
Glad you got to laugh. I laughed too.
I thought
at
it was
gonads.
hysterical because I wanted to say, man, I had such a tough time because, like, I had to change a flat tire. And I was really excited to tell my wife about my flat tire the same night that she was in jail, and that was funny to me.
You know what? I gave up a 30-point word
sounded
so that
funny
the
to
other
me.
girl could put whore on the board.
Hey, we all have to make our
I
sacrifices.
made a sacrifice
See?
because I was trying to win, not at Scrabble, but loving
Yeah,
the jailhouse, so no one would beat
So
me
at
up.
that
You
moment-
can have whore.
So at-
That's good. I'll give up my 30-point word for that. That's enough, Tavin.
At that moment, I knew God was there, and I knew God was working on something. I didn't know what, and I didn't know how, but it didn't matter because I knew that God was there. So all I needed to do then was continue focusing on Him and my faith that He will take care of her, because I couldn't.
So then you came home and watched the Never-Ending Story with God,
No, well, yeah, I did.
with pizza.
No, I
And
didn't.
so- I'm
I
kidding.
didn't actually eat at all.
neither.
I came home and didn't know what to do, so I fell on my knees and I prayed.
And God said, watch the Never-Ending
Well, first
Story.
of all, I showered because changing a flat tire in 5
I
layers
didn't
of
get to
clothes
shower.
was awful.
I had to pee in front of all the girls.
But me too. There was screaming involved. I don't know. So I knelt down and prayed endlessly. When I was done praying, it just didn't feel good enough for me, so I started reciting Psalm 23 that I had memorized 2 days prior
And that's from our other videos.
just so that I could have it memorized, because I wanted to keep it memorized because I knew that I needed it. I just wasn't sure when. And at that moment I thought that I needed to have it memorized for myself. So I wanted to memorize it, and it felt good, and I remember thinking, and this was one thing that I didn't tell Tristine.
Well, there's something new.
Right. Yeah. Well, come on. Okay. Because I don't talk very well. I don't communicate well.
Sorry. Oh my God, I snorted again.
That while reciting Psalm 23, I actually had Tristine in mind, praying to God, thinking of Psalm 23. And I really liked that image, and it helped me anyway. But when I was done, it was 5 hours later. So I, found that I ended up saying a 5 hour prayer, which I thought was really, really cool. Not necessarily the length of time, but the endurance of the prayer.
Well, it had meaning and it had substance to it.
Yeah, I knew I needed to go to sleep at that point. I wasn't comfortable enough to sleep. And the night just didn't feel like, I didn't feel it needed to end right. My night needed to end right, and I wasn't quite sure what that meant. I needed to connect to something, something more home, something more family, because I didn't have anybody. My family was in jail, and I didn't have anyone. So I turned to the Neverending Story, because it was my brother Mikey, who died last year, his and my favorite story, favorite movie of all time. First time we watched it, it changed.
Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Because we're going on 28 minutes. Let's try to wrap this up to, okay, so I got out of jail now. So now let's talk about, when I came home, Jared was standing outside and I was scared. He had his back to me with his head down. So I didn't know what he was doing. So what were you doing at that moment when I walked up? I know you were letting Lola out, but...
I was actually going through your phone to see if...
but I can't go through yours?
No, I'm the man.
Okay.
No, I was going through your phone to see if... hoping to see if you had called it.
And I never even thought of that, calling my own phone. But
I had it all night.
But then again, I kept thinking... I don't know what I was like. Why did I think of calling my own number? Because they would have monitored. They monitor all your calls, so they weren't going to let me call Jared no matter what. Even if which I wouldn't lie. Of course, I wouldn't lie. So anyway, you had my phone. You were going through my phone. And then what did you think? Because he told me that he was on his way to go to the jail to waiver the restraining order.
The stupid restraining order that I didn't want to have in the first place.
Yeah, and then my court was also at 1. Now, were you going to go to my court date?
Absolutely.
So you were going to get my restraining order waived before you went to court?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, because that would have actually, I think, would have helped me, but it didn't matter anyways because there wasn't enough evidence to prosecute me, which is why I didn't even have to go to court.
I had every intention to go in there and say something a bit more professional than this. The law is stupid, and she needs to get released now. because I didn't want any of that to happen. I didn't want her to get sent to jail. I didn't want to have the stupid restraining order on her in the first place, just
Okay.
so that I could say that I didn't want it.
Right. So when you hear my voice, what do you think?
My wife is home. My first instinct was to run up and hug you.
Yeah, I could tell.
And I was scared.
We were both really scared.
I was scared out of my mind that you wouldn't want me to, so
I was the same
didn't.
way. Well, I was really afraid that he was going to call the cops again. So that was really weird for me.
Yeah, because from her perspective, I wanted the restraining order.
Dude,
on
and
her.
he was all dressed up, everything too. Like he had these really nice shorts on, and the ones that he was wearing now,
Yeah.
and a dress shirt. And I'm like,
I did it for you.
wow, he's all dressed up.
I did it for you
But I
because I
didn't know
wanted
that.
to look nice
I
for
know,
you.
and I didn't know that at the time. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like what's going on? I thought it was really odd too that he was up, because I didn't know what was going on, because I knew that he probably went to work. Because in my head, I'm like, oh, he's just going on with life. Everything's just going on normal.
No way.
We know that's not how it happened.
I set
but
my alarm for crazy early. I had been up for hours at that point. I only got a couple hours of sleep that night. I was up and ready. Like I was ready to go into court and be the white knight and save the damsel in distress.
I know, like he was like, I'm going into court. I'm gonna go down to the jail, and I'm gonna tell them. I'm gonna give them a piece of my mind.
I was.
This is what he told me, and my exact words to him was, "You don't know what it's like down there. You do not want to go down there. It is not like being out in the world. Once you get on the other side of those doors, they treat you like an animal, and
see,
they are
at
not
that
going to listen to you."
point-
And no, I knew the
At
way
that
he was
point-
thinking, he was going to jail.
At that point, I didn't care because I may have had a fight with my wife, but that was a fight that I had with my wife. The government came in and took over and did something wrong against law and justice, and definitely against the will of God. Well, not against the will of God because God wanted it, but
Family.
against what God wants in the first place. And I was going to let everyone at the police station know that.
Yeah, he's telling me this. I'm like, oh no, you are not going down there.
And and she knew. She knew how I felt. I was gonna end up getting arrested.
From the way he was so angry, I knew that if he went down there like that, he'd get arrested. Because I said, you don't know what it's like down there. It's not what you think. You can't go down there and do that. So
and I told her because of this stupid thing, and I grabbed the restraining order, and I told her the story that I didn't want it. I thought it was stupid, and I couldn't believe that I actually had to sign it because I knew full well that she would be the one to read it and think that I did.
okay, so let's wrap this up, and we'll conclude it with one last question. I was going to try to say something funny, but now I can't come up with anything funny. Whoa. All right. So, we are still together, and things are a lot better between us, and Jared's really making an effort. Are you making an effort, or is it coming naturally to you now?
I'm not making an effort at all. Like, it's just who I am now.
Yeah, because it's a beautiful thing. He's back to who he used to be.
And see,
There's moments though that he's kind of still like weird, and I'm like, what's going on with you?
What?
You know what? Did you see my video on Instagram, Karen? I think it might have gotten posted on Facebook when we went down by the lake. I wanted to renew my vows. I wanted to renew my commitment to Jared and to Tavin. I don't know if you saw that, but that's That's what that was about, because
Um,
it was about me and Jared
what's-
and our family
What's
coming back together.
What's interesting, however,
If you're on Instagram, check it out. Maybe I'll send it to you. I'll try to see if I can get that to you, Karen.
What's interesting about this story is that I'm not the only one that was off of who I was. Tristine was too, and she even admits
Oh,
it, stands
gosh,
up
yeah.
to it, and atones for it, and has made steps for it to
Get
along the same lines of what I'm experiencing. So it wasn't just I'm being the
All right, Tavin, come on in.
come on in, buddy.
All right, so we'll end it with Tavin
And
in the
we
room.
really do need to end it like that, because that's what God wanted in the first place. Come
Such
on in.
fun. Come on. Well, the door doesn't need to be closed now. You're in there like making an earthquake. Careful.
All right. So at the end of the day,
Here comes Tavin.
this
Come
is
on.
what God wanted in the first place.
Oh. Tavin! Do you see what he did? God, Tavin.
Sorry.
Tavin always messes everything up. There he is. All right.
I'm gonna gap.
Sit up.
I'm gonna gap.
All right. So, are you still watching on the tablet?
Pause it.
Oh, okay. I'm on pause.
No.
Pause myself. Okay.
Pages.
Oh my. Here comes everything.
Kitty.
All right. So, right. Okay. So, Tavin wants to tell his story, but we're not going to do that tonight because it's already 10 something and we've been on here forever. I think I'm going to record it because I really don't want Tavin to be harassed and to see some of the things that would be said on here. So,
Yeah.
I want to thank Kumar for coming on. I really want to thank you. Lola, hold on. She is snoring.
She snores loudly.
Oh, she's snoring. Hi, Lola. Lola, say hi. There. Okay. There's Lola. She's been right next to me the whole time snoring. I'm surprised you can't hear that. So, we're a united family now, and that is, I mean, really, seriously, when I love that the guy that was harassing me said that I'm bragging about being in jail, because I am, because God did an amazing thing through me going to jail. And I don't think that Tavin is any way neglected or rejected or harmed by the fact that we laugh about me going to jail and we talk about me going to jail, because it is something that really happened and Tavin was a part of that. Tavin saw it, Tavin witnessed it, and he also got to see the goodness of God through it all. He got to see how God restored his family.
Don't cry.
Because you don't cry, because I see you start to cry.
I never cried. For some reason, I never cried.
But Tavin, did you pray that night that God would restore our family? He prayed a lot, and God really listens to Tavin's prayers. And when Tavin saw, because I knew Tavin was at Ann's when I got home, because Jared told me. And so Jared's like, do you want to call him? And I said, yes, but I want to call him together so that he could see Jared and I together. I didn't want him to just see me. I wanted Tavin to see his mom and dad together. And he was so happy to see that. He really was. And so he got to see the goodness of God in all of this. He got to see the blessings. He got to see the heartache and the hardships of marriage and how to get through them. And you get through them by relying on God and praying and trusting in God. And what?
Cry, Daddy. I can see him starting to cry.
Yeah, no. Trusting trusting
Did
on
you see
God.
that? Was it scary for you when mommy was taken away?
Not.
A lot.
Mhm.
Now they wouldn't
Wait.
let. Go ahead.
Usually, when we went to Trent's Nana's house,
Oh,
and
that's right.
and almost all of them sounded like you. That's how much I missed you.
Oh, I love you.
And when I told Trent, he was like, "What?"
Mm. Well, and then they wouldn't let me see Tavin, and they told Tavin that I'd be home that day, didn't they?
Yeah,
Yeah,
then
but I didn't. So I couldn't. I said, let me give my son a hug before I leave. And the cop said no. And they wouldn't let me see Tavin before I even left. And they said, it's not good for a kid to see their mom getting in handcuffs. I said, you're right. And he should see it because you're doing it to me. That's exactly what I said to the cop. And, but Tavin saw it anyway because he watched it out the window right here and watched me go into the cop car.
Yep.
So anyway, that's a story for another day. But as you can see, we're all sitting here together and we love each other and things have been great. We've been having a lot of fun, haven't we, Tavin? Meep. Yep. So, okay, we're going to end this. And I just want to thank you for watching. I know it's been kind of a long and weird kind of situation with everything going on with Tavin, commenting under my name and not spelling correctly. We're doing a lot of spelling this year in homeschool, let me tell you
Can
that.
we forget about
Let's
that?
just quit Tavin.
Yeah, please. Yes, please.
So thank you for watching, and thank you to all my subscribers. Thank you, Kumar. You've been awesome. Thank you, Brian and Karen, and thank you for even those people who harassed me because you boosted my numbers.
What is that? Kurai Gaming.
Kumar?
Yeah.
He's one of my subscribers. He's a really good person.
Does
I
he
don't know.
do-
Is it he? Girl? I don't know. A girl? Boy? Girl? I don't know.
Does
But-
he do actual gaming?
Yeah.
Does-
Okay, we're not getting into that. I just want to thank you. Thumbs up, subscribe. Let's move this along real quick.
Subscribe bell.
Subscribe.
Subscribe bell. Subscribe.
Yeah. Because what would Jesus do?
He would comment, he would like, and he would subscribe.
Yeah, and he would share. Because Jesus shared. All right, guys, we love you.
Bye.
All
I'm
right.
gonna go on my Mario
Let's give a
War
big
fight.
kiss goodbye. Ready? Mwah!
Kamar's a boy.
Bye.
Bye, Kamar. Bye, Karen.
Love you all.
Bye, Karen.